person next to me in the minivan is eating popcorn. She's eating that like smart popcorn. I could tell by the bag. I probably shouldn't be paying attention to things like that, but you know, when something catches my eye, it catches my eye, damn it. At least they use their turn signal. So not only are they smart when it comes to their food options, but they are also conscious of other drivers. I don't see a coexist bumper sticker. Probably for a reason. I used to have a coexist bumper sticker. Remember those days, Amy? I had all kinds of bumper stickers on my car. Because I was one of those. You know, I was thinking about that, how like when you're like really arrogant about the things that you think you believe, you feel the need to like talk about them all the time or like bring them up in conversation. And I think that's why like people are addicted to the social media. I don't just think it's for dopamine. I think that there's something else driving them. Because I don't think that it's just brain chemistry. I mean, yeah, that explains a lot, but I don't think it explains all of it. And you know that we want to get down to the bottom of it. Sometimes I wish I had a self-driving car and then I could do stuff like this with no problem. But it is more fun now to like take risks and feel like you're going to veer off the road at any given point, all because you want a tasty espresso beverage. But we did it, didn't we? Yes, we're still listening to Miles Ahead. Very, very underrated Miles Davis album. Mainly because of the first track, Springsville. It's just so good. I want to listen to it. Hold on one second. Oh, I turned it down. I don't know what buttons I'm hitting right now. Hold on. Bonafide music taste. I know I've mentioned this before, but I think what I'm going to do in the future is drive around this beautiful sports car, or what feels like a sports car, and I'm going to listen to my music and just yakety yak. I like how you talk about this like in the future, like you don't already do this. This is what I'm planning to do. The same thing that I've been doing. No, but I always listen to jazz, or I listen to like Johnny Cash or Fleetwood Mac or the Allman Brothers. You know, I want to listen to more, because I was listening to the Pixies recently, and I was like, I don't think I've ever played the Pixies for the Vortex, one of the greatest bands ever. I know Black Francis was a dick, and he was kind of a misogynist based on the way he treated Kim Deal, but I think that Kim Deal was kind of a bitch. I can gather that just from her musical presence. Though she's a badass, though. I think that it most definitely is a man's world, and women that forget that, they just don't know their place. But you see, if you're in a band, if you're in somebody else's musical project, you kind of have to do what they want. And unless those roles are firmly established from the very beginning, you're going to have so much conflict. it like a play. You know, everybody has their role, everybody has their lines. If you start reading somebody else's lines, you're going to get all screwed up. If you start thinking that you're a more important role than the one you actually are, you're going to get all screwed up. You know, she was the bass player. She was the bass player, and she did backup vocals. But she wanted a more, like, central role. And Black Francis was like, bitch. I started this band. But I realize, though, that is a common issue with a lot of bands. But I mean, I don't think that happens with actors, though. I've seen it happen with a lot of comedians, where, like, comedians are, like, constantly competing with each other. You know those two people that I filmed in that really, really short video entitled Riding Around in Nashville with My Friends? That was Brad driving, and that was Ronit in the passenger seat in the front. Y'all know Ronit, my crazy Jew from New York. I forget where Brad is from. But, pretty sure it's somewhere better than Tennessee. But, yeah, I'm so grateful to have them in my life, because most people that I've met in Nashville are just, I don't want to say they're scum, but, they're just not really, you know, good people. I feel like anybody that you meet, like, doing some sort of art, you know, it's this aura of competition just constantly, you know, surrounding, like, any kind of art form. And it sucks that people can't just, like, be supportive of each other. But I see it a lot where, like, somebody gets a spot at Zany's, or maybe they get asked to be on a show or something. Like my friend Thomas, he got on Kill Tony, and all these other comics were, like, mad because of the things that he said. And he, like, didn't even care, you know? I think that there's definitely this oversensitivity, though, and social media has heightened it to the point of no return, where people just can't accept their own failures. They can't accept that they have shortcomings, so they have to focus on everybody else's shortcomings because they're so insecure. And you know, I had a friend of mine in comedy who I really, really like. I think that he understands comedy, and I think that he's good at it. I think he's very, very funny and talented. But what he said, I totally disagree with. He was basically telling me, like, all comics are insecure, and I'm not, honey. If I was insecure, I wouldn't do the material that I do. I mean, I guess I'm not secure, like, on stage, but I'm definitely secure when it comes to, like, my life and the things that I believe in. I think that if comedians weren't, you know, secular nihilists, that would significantly help them. You know, they probably wouldn't be drunk and doing all these drugs and not giving a fuck, you know, what their weed is laced with. But yeah, it's unfortunate that it's like a thing to be secular. It's a thing to be, you know, hateful towards anything the slightest bit traditional, anything the slightest bit, I don't want to say normal. It's weird that I'm making a case for that, you know? I think about this a lot. Like last night when I was hanging out with my friend Sandra, and we practiced, and it sounds so beautiful, by the way. It sounds so beautiful. I'm so excited to do this song. It's a very, 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 very long song that we're going to be singing a cappella tomorrow night at church. Yeah, I was just thinking about like how, you know, she had books that were written by like you know, and I was just thinking to myself like, man, I used to be like so hateful towards that man. And you know, I mean, I've talked shit about him because of how much shit he's talked about people that do drugs, and then his dumbass got addicted to pills. But whatever. I guess we're all hypocrites in some form or fashion, right? But he wasn't wrong about his worldview, though. At least I don't think so. I used to think so. I used to hate Ann Coulter. Believe this, y'all. And just bringing this up, this is one of my confessions, okay? So be prepared. It's pretty bad. I'm actually more ashamed of this than I am of the fact that I turned my vagina into a used-up bath mat, as I have previously stated. I'm more ashamed of this than shoplifting. I'm more ashamed of this than waking up in my own piss day after day after day because of my alcoholic habits. But I didn't want to do this, okay? I did this under pressure because I had a friend that was way more leftist than me. But we had a little book burning ceremony at his house, and one of the books that I had the opportunity to burn was an Ann Coulter book. And basically the ritual was, we read a couple paragraphs and we said, fuck this person's worldview, and ripped out the page and put it into the fire. And I remember getting into an argument with him before we did this. And I was like, you know, I don't like Ann Coulter, but I don't think that this is right. I don't think that we should just burn books that we don't agree with. But I still did it though, because I was at his house and this was, you know, something that he wanted to do. A lot of people drink and do drugs under pressure. I burned an Ann Coulter book under pressure, but I have to live with that for the rest of my life, okay? Now, I have since then bought several Ann Coulter books that I still have yet to read because I have good intentions with little to no follow-through. But if you saw my massive collection of books, you'd be convinced that I was a very well-read person, but I'm actually not. I just am impulsive. And I'm a woman. So, you know, when you see things that you want, and you can just, you know, type in a little number and press a button, and bang, you get all those things you want. Or so you think, right? Well, yeah, that's really easy to do. And when you're a woman, you can rationalize this sort of behavior. Now, I know that men do this too, but they don't do it as badly as women. And women have so many things to obsessively buy, you know? Clothes, cosmetics, you know? We don't, you know, obviously. We stole that shit. But, yeah, we used to have a really bad shoplifting problem. Because when you're on the left, you can rationalize all kinds of bad behavior by other people's bad behavior. And you can say, well, corporations are evil, so I should steal from them. I have to live with the fact that I used to think this way, okay? But anyway. Yeah, so I've done a lot of things that were really bad. I've done a lot of things that were wrong. I have to talk about those things on stage. You should talk about burning the Ann Coulter book. You should bring an Ann Coulter book and I should read it on stage. Oh man. See, we're full of all kinds of creative ideas, okay? I don't think that many people that I do comedy with have lived as authentic of a life as I have. But there's so much that I could talk about. There's so much experience that I have. And, I'm pretty good friends with a lot of people that don't think like me. I'm pretty good friends with people that, grew up in a completely different neighborhood, people that don't look like me, people that have a way different experience, And that's so valuable to me. It's so valuable to be very versatile. There's no versatility in knowledge. There's no versatility in experience, it seems. And I guess that's why, I stick it out at my restaurant job, because, it is a stable job. And I appreciate the consistent chaos of it. I appreciate the things that I've learned from it. And I value those things. But, a lot of the experience that I've had, being political, a lot of the experience that I've had, hating on religion, and now that I'm in the Orthodox Church and I'm, singing in the choir, it's this ain't a 180, man. It ain't a 180 at all. This is a 360. What's higher than a 360? You tell me, Vortex. But the fact that I'd be vouching for, the traditional nuclear family, it's just so crazy to me, considering the type of person I used to be. That I had, pro-abortion bumper stickers on my car. But, I've noticed all of the families I go to church with are, legit happy. And they're not the type of people to, put on a show. So I don't think that they are pretending that they're happy or pretending that they're still in love with each other and still have a happy marriage and a good sex life and all that. The type of people I go to church with, they're not the types of people that pretend, and they're not fake. Because I'm pretty good at sniffing out that sort of thing, but yeah, I've noticed that, those kids seem happy, and they're not totally dependent on their phones for everything. I mean, they can put their phones down and enjoy a church service, and they can worship, and they can have conversations with people. They're able to look up and be attentive, and they're not looking for the next distraction and all that. So really the only children that I have hope for are children that are hardcore involved in the church, because their parents are shining examples of the church, and that's how it has to be. That's how it should be. The reason why so many kids rebel is because there are not good examples of that, and so why would you want to stick with something that is so hypocritical that it's not a good example of what it claims to be or what it claims to believe? Why would you stick with that? It's just kind of logical.